Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And hashtag Clownfish was right. Sorry, I hate to be the one to tell you that again.
No, you don't.
No, I really don't, especially with all the people that come at us. Yeah, I really don't. Yeah, so Hasbro is outsourcing all of their Power Rangers, the way I'm reading this, to Playmates.
That's a smart move, though.
It is a smart move because Playmates makes better toys than Hasbro does now.
And they make it more cost effective.
Yeah, the $10 turtles. If you go out to the Clownfish Gaming channel, we did a review of a $10 Hasbro Star Wars figure compared to a $10 Playmates Ninja Turtles figure, and the Playmates figure was vastly superior.
Also bit him and he was bleeding, but that's a whole other story.
Did.
Actually, it was the packaging.
That's why you can't put plastic in the packaging, because grown-ass men cut their fingers on them. But no, we've been telling you this for at least 6 or 8 months now, that it seemed like Hasbro wants to get out of the toy business. They want to get out of making stuff and just be an IP rights holder. And if you read their official press release, it's basically saying that we're still going to have the rights to Power Rangers, but we're going to let Playmates make the toys.
Well, they might be also doing this because if something's going to be very expensive for them and they're doing breakdown, it's going to be too expensive for us, they might be outsourcing it to somebody else because they might do a better job at a better price point, and Hasbro still owns the license. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
and Hasbro, they're cutting corners wherever they can cut it. And I wonder if the new accounting lady they have, finance officer, she's like, it makes more sense to just let these companies pay us to make toys and Playmates
be profitable again.
And I really have to worry. I gotta tell you, especially with Cynthia Williams getting gone from D&D, from Magic, I have to wonder if they're not going to do the same thing with the games. If they're not going to say, hey, Paizo or somebody else, do you want to make the Dungeons & Dragons tabletop game, because we're going to focus on making digital products?
Maybe.
I really am starting to wonder that.
This is not a surprise to me. We've already been seeing it. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Before we get into it any further,
please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/ or I guess it's just /Clownfish TV.
Yeah, we're thinking we might do a rant video with me every so often, and it'll only be on Patreon.
There you go. It's better than transforming Transformers with your feet on OnlyFans.
I wanted to, but you wouldn't let me.
No, that's weird.
I would have made a lot of money.
I mean, it's hot, but it's weird.
I get to learn, just not for anybody else.
No, you better not.
So this is not surprising. I'll read this statement in a minute, but we have noticed for a while now that Hasbro has been outsourcing different things. Some of it they still do in-house, but like over Basic Fun, for example, they brought back pet shops and things, and it's Basic Fun. I know they have My Little Ponies, the reissues of the older toys, but it's Basic Fun that's been doing them for several years now. So they have the plushies, which I'm thinking I'm going to have to get those now. I wasn't getting them, but I might. They've been doing this stuff for a while. Light Bright, Pound Puppies.
Yeah, Lil's Pet Shop, which our daughter was incredibly happy that they're bringing Lil's Pet Shop.
She likes the new ones. She does.
They're the old ones, but Basic Fun is making them.
The little one in the wheel, the ball is so cute. Is that a hamster? Cute.
I think it's a hamster. Yeah, he's got a little apple or something.
I don't know. That one's adorable.
These are the play sets. Get your bobble on.
And they are bobblehead, which she was very happy about because she's very emphatically pro bobble. She doesn't like the ones that don't move. But they've been doing this for a while now, which is what we were basing it on, was the fact that we've been seeing them outsource. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they
Tonka,
do. Milton Bradley, Uncle Milton.
We've been seeing them outsource a lot of this stuff, connects for a while now to other toy manufacturers. And then, we saw the Ninja Turtles was going out to Playmates, and now it's apparently Power Rangers got Playmates, which makes sense.
Yeah, so let's and actually Playmates, I know some people argue with me because we talked about Masters of the Universe versus Ninja Turtles, which are actually mashing them up now, which is really weird.
Yeah, they are. Even though the upside down Demogorgon one's pretty cool.
Playmates is still in the business of making toys. They make toys at a good price point. They're not they're a big company, but they're not like Hasbro wants to be more. They want to be more than a toy company. And I think they're going to wind up Icarusing themselves. And I think they're already in the process of that because they had to sell off their movie company, their movie studio. Larian, biggest thing they had going for them was Baldur's Gate, and they jumped ship. And they're tossing people overboard, but they don't want to be in the toy business anymore. So Let's talk about this. I have to give a hat tip to Brian Stevens, who tagged us in earlier. Said Clownfish was right, of course. No, we're not always right. We're not always right. We're not always right. We're not always right.
Though.
We
don't actually keep a percentage.
If we are right, it's because, again, being older and coming from a corporate background, there are patterns you look for. And every indicator with Hasbro was, we're not a company that wants to be in the toy business. The stuff's been getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. They've been hemorrhaging money.
And the prices have gone up. So they're not selling.
No, but they've got shareholders they have to answer to that want more and more profits.
They keep having losses.
Right. So you get rid of stuff. And Power Rangers, I don't know how that was for them as far as sales, because, the brand, I mean, it's an evergreen brand. I'm not sold on the new American version of Power Rangers. I think it looks really, really cheesy. But, they lost the Super Sentai deal, but there's still money to be made with Mighty Morphin, right? Like those characters are always popular. Anyway, here's the official press release from Hasbro. Hasbro and Playmates enter strategic relationship to produce and distribute Power Rangers product globally starting in 2025. Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Hasbro, a leading toy and game company, announced
the leading toy and game company
today announced a global licensing agreement with Playmate Toys, a global toy design, development, marketing, distribution company to produce and distribute Power Rangers products. Playmates is debuting its first Power Rangers collection with a kid-targeted Mighty Morphin Power Rangers toy line in 2025. Probably like the Ninja Turtles. They're nice figures. As part of the agreement, Playmates holds licensing rights to develop additional cross-category Power Rangers products, including action figures, blasters, plush, role-play, vehicles, and accessories. The deal encompasses global distribution across all regions, excluding Asia, probably because of the likenesses of the Super Sentai. I'm sure they have an issue with that because Bandai used to make the toy.
Well, I'm sure the Asian toys are probably better, but that's another story.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. We are honored to work with Hasbro on the reimagination of this iconic franchise's toy line for longtime fans and a new generation of children. Oh my God, they're actually making toys for children again? I think Playmates is the only company that still makes action figures for kids. They really do. Playmates and Hasbro speak the same toy language and share passion for Power Rangers.
They don't speak the same toy language. Playmates gets it. Good toys for low prices. Hasbro does not.
They do not. Power Rangers is a multi-generational phenomenon that has stood the test of time. Hasbro will retain all entertainment rights and will continue to drive global strategy and growth for Power Rangers by strategically working with licensees across mobile categories, including publishing, fashion, footwear, promotions, and more. Hasbro
fashion and footwear, okay.
Yeah, right.
Hasbro for kids, probably.
Yeah. Hasbro will also further activate the brand across their direct-to-consumer channel, Hasbro Pulse. So Hasbro is going to just make the collector figures, but the actual toys that you see at Walmart and Target, they're going to be made by Playmates.
Well, this sounds to me like they're going to trying to ramp up the show too, because you're going to need an audience to buy these toys. And if you're targeting kids, a lot of kids, you need a show that they be like watching to be excited about the toys. So I think they're going to probably ramp up that as well.
Yeah, so they just go on
better what they're doing.
They just go on to say that they're going to have oversight into the direction of Power Rangers, and Playmates is going to leverage its action figure and accessory design, development, marketing expertise to create an entirely new play and collecting experience for fans of all ages. Hasbro Pulse will probably do the ridiculously overpriced,
that's probably what's going to happen.
$300 Tommy action figure or something, Look, I'm telling you guys, Hasbro's getting out of the toy business. They don't want to be a toy company.
No, they'll do it, but they want to do the ones that people are going to pay like hundreds of dollars for, like the $250, Transformer sets or something like that.
That's just it. Yeah. And,
cost them like $5 to make, $10 to make, and you'd pay $250.
Well, okay. So let's look at it this way. So Ollie's has become a dumping ground for Hasbro products, right? Because it's overpriced, the quality is not good, and it's based on a lot of IP that nobody gives a shit about, Star Wars and Marvel and whatever. And even some Power Rangers stuff has shown up over there. What you don't see, or what I've never seen, your miles may vary, but what I've never seen is Ninja Turtle action figures from Playmates. I've never seen them there.
But that's more of a recent thing, though. They haven't had time to go there. Give it another few months.
Well, they never really.
Check around Christmas and see.
Yeah, they brought the retro figures back. Turtles, though, is weird. They never really stopped making them. They just come out with a new version every time there's a new cartoon show or movie. But this is it, man. They do not want to do toys anymore. And this is coming from Toy Book.
They don't want to do the mass-produced, like, lower brow, as they would say.
Lowbrow
toys
stuff.
for kids. They don't want to do toys for kids
Hasbro doesn't
anymore.
want to do toys for kids.
They want to do the expensive toys for collectors that may or may not be worth the price that they're asking. They're going to continue to do something. They're going to do those. They're going to find somebody else who can do the inexpensive toys better, and then have them worry about it. And that's what they're doing.
So Hasbro's going to be at the Licensing Expo next month, and they plan to further activate the Power Rangers brand with offerings. I think they're going to be trying to source other licensees for their toys. I could be wrong. I could be wrong on this. I think before it's all said and done, we are going to see D&D and Magic the Gathering, especially since Cynthia Williams got gone. I think we're going to see that outsourced to another game publisher.
I don't know. I honestly don't know, because that's like the only thing they have left they're holding on to. I mean,
yeah, but if you can, so here's the logic. Here's the logic in this, right? So we spent a lot of time working on licensed Disney comics, many, many years working on Disney comics. And how it works with Disney comics is that they grant the licenses for certain characters to different publishers. And you basically pay Disney for the right to publish comic books based on their characters. And then they get royalties out of it. They don't have to do a damn thing.
No.
You know, you're paying them for the honor and you take all the risk. You're the one that has to.
That's just it. Playmates are going to take probably the majority of the risk. They're going to be the ones that have to make the toys, sell the toys. If they're out, it's on them.
Could this same thing eventually happen with Star Wars and Marvel and stuff? Could it just be like, whenever their deal with Disney runs out, be like, hey, if one of you got, like, we'll kick the license over to you. If you want to take a chance on making Star Wars figures, we got burnt really bad on it.
See, that one though, I don't know, because I think that one Disney would have to decide that. Because I know back when they were trying to do the Mandalorian toys and they didn't have the Baby Yoda toys ahead. I remember then Mattel was actually doing some stuff too at the same time. I think they had some stuff out before Hasbro for pre-orders, because basically it was whoever could do it first. And I don't think, if it's going to be something like Star Wars or Marvel, Disney's going to decide who gets that license. It doesn't have to stay with Hasbro. You know what I mean? They might be able to outsource it, but then why can't Disney just kind of deal directly with Jack Pacific or, Playmates or something? I don't think they're going to be having any say in that. They might have to continue making those unless they have an agreement with Disney, but that seems like an awful lot of steps when Disney could just have somebody else do it. Yeah, it's probably, you're probably right. But with Disney Comics it was like, Marvel Comics never made sense. They bought Marvel Comics because they wanted the IP for movies and TV shows and stuff like that. And there was talk before that they were going to license all of the Marvel Comics characters out to another comic book publisher. And my understanding was they were testing the waters with IDW and they failed the test. They didn't trust them. So that kind of got gone. But I could totally see Hasbro taking a play out of the Disney handbook and doing it this way. They've been outsourcing their collector lines to Super 7. They're actually going to be doing D&D figures that look better than the Hasbro those are
ones.
things they own.
Those are things they own. So this is where it's interesting, because they own, I don't know if people realize that, they actually own whole cloth. They own Power Rangers, the whole kit and caboodle, not Super Sentai, but whatever concepts, I guess, originated in the Saban Power Rangers. They own that. They own Dungeons and Dragons now. They own My Little Pony, and all that stuff is being outsourced currently. It is. Yeah. Basic Fun does the My Little Pony anniversaries. They haven't done any new. Well, they did do some new ponies. They did the Celestial ponies, which I have. But a lot of them, a lot of things have been going to Basic Fun. Yeah, it's weird because actually Mattel's doing this too. Mattel owns Fisher Price. And Basic Fun is even making Mattel classic, classic Fisher Price toys, which I didn't even know you could still buy these, but I had. I had that phone. Everybody had this phone. Yes. I didn't have the cash register. My friend had the cash register. I love it. My friend Joe, I used to call him Jophus. It was Joseph. He lived across the street, but yeah, he had the cash register. I remember the Farmer Says. Yeah. Yep. Oh God! But they're making this stuff now. They're making they were making Strawberry Shortcake, and then that new company I forget the company is called now. Loyal Subjects. Loyal Subjects. Yeah, they're doing Rainbow Bright too. They're doing Rainbow Bright and Strawberry Shortcake, so that's a totally different thing. But yeah, so much of this is Hasbro, and I wonder, would Mattel get to that point too? Would they just be like, yeah, you know what, He-Man, yeah, we'll just outsource that too.
Well, so far they aren't, but what they're doing now is they're doing some things in stores. Like they have a lot of exclusives with the turtles and the He-Man turtles. I know that they have like the Skeletor Demogorgon one that's going to be at Target. So they are doing some, and some stores are getting on, some stores aren't. But most of what they're doing is they're just selling them directly through Matty Collector. Same with the Monster High dolls. It's just mostly Matty Collector. G3s go to the store, but G1s they're bringing back, but you have to go through them for a lot of it.
Yeah. And they got Viewmaster.
Viewmaster, yeah.
So it seems like the rights holders just want to do the classic, the collector lines because it's a high dollar.
Basically, the rights holders are just finding an actual toy company to make their toys.
Isn't that freaking sad?
They toy companies, but they bought and bought and bought so much to the place that they're just a big rights holder, and then they have to find an actual company that just does toys.
Like Hasbro
toys.
This was inconceivable. So Ninja Turtles was actually the biggest. This was the biggest threat to Hasbro in the late 80s was Ninja Turtles. Like Ninja Turtles came in, and I don't think people realize they want to blame. They keep trying to blame the decline of Masters of the Universe and transfer on She-Ra.
Oh my God! Stop doing that.
What killed? I'll tell you what killed He-Man and Transformers and G.I. Joe was Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles came in like 87, 88 and pretty much just destroyed everything.
But the He-Man thing too, though, you have the whole situation where, and it happened in the 2000s too. They kept sending so many damn He-Man and Skeletors out and characters you already had that you had to have all these in the case. And then the stores just got plugged with them. We saw it with, I think G2 Monster Highs too. They had so many limited the characters, but then there were so many and everybody who wanted it had it. So they were just plugging up the shelves. I think that also played into it too. And I'm sure She-Ra on some level might have caused some problems, but not to the level that people keep every time I mention She-Ra, they jump down my throat about it. It's like, well, one, it wasn't my fucking fault, first of all. Two,
I was a kid. Leave me alone.
Two, I don't agree with that. I think there might have been some level of, okay, but I still don't understand the logic on that one at all. Like, they didn't do She-Ra till later. It was already on the decline when they did She-Ra. Like, yeah,
She-Ra was Masters of. Yeah, there you go. Classic ponies. Masters of the Universe was already on the decline. And it was a lot of that. Like, because when He-Man came out, the only real competitor it had was Star Wars. And then after He-Man.
Star Wars was on the decline.
Star Wars was on the decline. Like, when I was a kid, I had Star Wars, but I didn't have a lot of Star Wars compared to other. Because mostly for me, it was like G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man.
My brother was Transformers, everything.
God, they were expensive back then. Mask. I had Mask. I had Boulder Hill. I had
Mask.
But yeah, so, it was already kind of on the decline, but like as someone who was the right age for Ninja Turtles when it first came out, I can tell you that it blew in like a hurricane and it just like took everybody's lunch. Like it was just like, it was ridiculous. And Playmates went from being this like hole in the wall toy company that nobody heard of to being like one of the biggest toy companies out there. And if you told me when I was a kid that like someday Playmates was going to make Hasbro's toys, I'd be like, what? That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. They're competitors, but here we are. This is where we're at, right? It's like Toy Highlander or something.
I got made fun of over Ninja Turtles because
why?
I didn't watch it, but because when I was in school, I was in high school or junior high or whatever it came out, and our art teacher.
You were in high? No, you weren't. It came out like when it first came out was like 87 or 88. Okay.
It was an art teacher, and it might have been a couple years later, and he just put on a quiz. I don't know. Yeah. But I remember a quiz he gave us, and because it was like, they're named after, great masters of art. And he would put down which one, he would like who leads, and he would say like whatever the song said. Okay. Yeah. And, I was the only one in the class to get it all right. And then they were making fun of me. And it was like, the reason I got them all right was because my brother watched it. So I knew he was my little brother, and I knew what the song was because I heard him watching it all the time. So I knew he watched it, so I knew he could answer the questions. But kids in the class, like, only one person got them all right, and then they all were picking on me about it.
Well, I think it was really big, and because my little brothers were into it when they were little, and it was still big in like the early to mid '90s. And then Power Rangers came in and kind of like kicked Turtles to the curb.
Yeah, I do know that. But yeah, then the Turtles, it was a couple years after they're out. I don't know. I wasn't like, into it, so I don't know. But I just remember getting made fun of because I got all the questions right.
I remember not being able to find April O'Neil. I couldn't find an April O'Neil action figure, like, to save my life. You could never find her. Everybody's like, oh, they never make female action figures. I'm like, I remember I looked for April O'Neil for like 2 years.
Did they limit her because it was a girl?
I'm wondering. And she was the only one I didn't have. Like, I had the complete collection of the first like 3 series of Ninja Turtles figures. I had the case. You remember I had the case and everything. I had all the parts because I was OCD and they were in little baggies and stuff.
It was because she was ginger.
It was because she was ginger. Yeah, I want my own little ginger woman. See, it was
Gila, April O'Neil.
Yeah.
You were already looking for ginger. You just didn't know it.
I was. But I found her at Rite Aid because nobody went to Rite Aid.
Yeah.
And she had like a layer of dust on her because she'd been sitting on the shelf. It was kind of like Prospector Pete, Stinky Pete from. Because wasn't he in a drugstore, Five and Dime or something?
Nobody puts April in a corner.
Yeah, well, she was sitting there. She was like the only one there. And it was like they had like 2 April O'Neils. And I'm like, oh my God, April O'Neil in this like jerk water back. I forget where I was.
I wouldn't use April O'Neil and jerk in the same sentence.
But she was. And she was very expensive because the drugstore toys were crazy.
Yes.
She was like $10. And this was in like 80s, early 90s money. I was like, oh my God, they're usually like $5.
Well, that's what happened to my mom.
I bought her because
she was looking for my brother some Voltron lions and she couldn't find them. I want to say it was the black or yellow one. It could have been either one. And she found them it was Thrift Drug and they were more expensive, but she found them there because it wasn't a place people went for toys and she couldn't find them anywhere else and she found them there.
Well, I used to go to, I told people about this before, West Friedman. It was a jewelry store. And me and my friend Craig, we used to go there all the time. And hi, Craig. If you're listening, I don't know if he's listening to this one or not. But like, we used to go there all the time, and you'd find like old toys because nobody would think to go to a jewelry store for toys. Plus, they were more expensive.
Well, back then, a lot of stores like that though had toys, like Montgomery Wards and stuff would get toys at Christmas.
Sears would get them just occasionally. They would have a toy
holidays
section.
And stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where we found they had like a pile of it. Bring it back to He-Man, 87 line Masters of the Universe, all the scare glows I could carry. Like, you don't understand.
They probably had the She-Ra toys too that were rare.
Yeah, they probably did.
Tassa, Spinnerella.
They probably did, but I remember they had a whole freaking end cap full. Scareglow, Sorceress, King Randor, Clamp Champ, and I bought the ones I needed, and that's why I got Clamp Champ, and I freaking love Clamp Champ.
You had Scareglow too. You had Scareglow.
I had all of them because they were 99 cents, and they had rows. I'm telling you. We could have bought a house if I bought all those Scareglows.
Well, how would you have known? Get a time machine, get your ass back there, buy them all.
And this was like a year or two after the fact where it was like nobody wanted He-Man at all. It was a dead brand, and that stuff sat there for years. And I think they probably just like threw them in the dumpster or something. I'm like, God, there were literally, I remember it's like, oh my gosh, just another Scareglow. I'm like, could you imagine having freaking 3 dozen carded Scareglows in today's market? God. Anyway, I need a time machine. I need to go back.
You know exactly where to go.
Yeah, we're going to West Friedman's. We're going to be rich. And then we're going to take that money and reinvest it so we have the money to start a company to build time machines to go back to West Friedman's and buy the damn toys. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
You could have a while ago.
I could have, yeah. But yeah, we're right. This is going to happen more often. I think we're going to see a lot of this because Hasbro doesn't want to make toys.
It just
Hasbro doesn't want to make toys.
I know, right? They're just going to go find toy companies to make toys for them.
Yep.
For the toy company.
All right. Let's wrap it up. We'll talk later.
Bye.